Okay, good evening, everybody. This is my first time using this platform, so could someone just type in the comments that you hear me? And that you can see my screen with the PowerPoint. Sweet. And you can see my screen too, that I'm assuming you can see my face. And this way you can see the screen. Cool. All right, awesome. All right, here we go. I'm really excited to do this, and I will have to admit that this has been a long time coming. Part of the reason why actually I really planned to do this 2 weeks ago is the reason why I have not is that the information was changing so fast that I felt like every time I felt like I had a handle on this, there was a curveball that was thrown. So things seem to be settling a little bit as far as clarity, as far as what's actually going on with this pandemic. And well, we're going to be mostly talking about COVID-19 and sharing research from that. I mean, really what I'm going to be going over tonight is going to apply to your immune system in general. So before we get started, just a little disclaimer. So everything I'm going to go over tonight is I am not claiming to cure or prevent COVID-19 or any other infectious diseases for that matter, and this is for educational purposes. So with that being said, you can consult your MD, the CDC, or WHO for complete guidelines and recommendations. Also, more of a personal disclaimer, this is definitely not going to be comprehensive and exhaustive as far as everything that I could cover. Admittedly, it's probably a little bit too long right now, but these things are really changing, like I said, by the day, and in some cases by the hour. So as you're watching this, and if you haven't already, just love to get this information out. If you click, if you feel so inclined, click the like button. You can click the share button, and hopefully more people will be able to see this. I'll also say this too, is that there's going to be opportunities to win supplements tonight. Okay, 5 different opportunities for that matter. And there's going to be questions. So if you stick around for the questions, they're going to be kind of throughout the whole PowerPoint with stuff that I cover. We're going to enter your name into a raffle for everyone that gets it right, get their name entered to the raffle, and then we'll do the raffle when I'm done. Okay. So for those that don't know who I am, a little bit about me. So I am a doctor of chiropractic. I also just recently got my doctor of natural medicine. I should be getting my diploma next week, which I'm excited about. And really for me, I mean, chiropractic changed my life personally as far as being a patient first. And really now it's just changing, it's changed my family's life as far as how we live. It's changed our community. It's transforming thousands of lives of people around the triangle and with my virtual clients who I work with really all over the country. And I'm just blessed to be able to do what I do. And I'm really excited to bring this information to you guys tonight and hopefully bring a different perspective on just health, the immune system, and also the coronavirus. So, I mean, I think at this point, there's probably not anything super unique that I'm going to go over regarding some of the things you haven't at least heard. But my goal is to bring a different light and different perspective to it so that you can think about things differently and make sure that you can, have your own, ammo, if you will, to do your research, and that the way that you're going to live your life, is a place, not a place from fear, but a place of confidence and certainty regarding your risks for this. And we all have risks, right? But we're going to be talking about the things too, what the research shows to mitigate those risks as well. Now, one of the things about really the chiropractic viewpoint, the chiropractic philosophy, and regarding health in general, is that it's really designed to be the polar opposite. And it was created to be the polar opposite of what medicine is. And in my opinion, that is why thousands and thousands of people get well in our clinic every single year is because what we do is the polar opposite. So this is a quote by Dr. B.J. Palmer, one of the very first chiropractors. And he said, medicine is the study of disease and what causes man to die. And chiropractic is the study of health and what causes man to live. So that is what we're going to really be focusing on tonight in this lecture is how do we build health and what is going to increase the life and the function flowing through your body. Now, I pulled this just straight, and if you notice, I have just everything that I'm doing tonight and talking about tonight is going to be cited. It came from PubMed or other chiropractic journals, and to help you realize that this stuff is legit, all right? This is not just hoopla. This is not hysteria. This is not just people standing behind a microphone, just shouting things out or blurbing things out, right? This came from verifiable, backed up research. So this is just talking about the pathophysiology. So how really that this this virus attacks the human body or organically attacks it. So one of the key words here you see right away is that, I don't know if, yeah, you can see my cursor. So it says, talking about coronaviruses are enveloped, okay, and that's a key word. Okay, we're going to come back to that a few times here over the next couple of minutes. Positive strain RNA virus with a nucleocapsid, right? It's a fancy way of just saying how the structure of this virus essentially is protected, okay? So then a bunch more things here, but the main thing I want you to understand is enveloped positive strand RNA virus. Now, in terms of the death rate, and I just pulled this out of Worldometer, which has been sort of claimed to be the top most verified sources of information for incidence rate, mortality rate, and everything. And I just think, again, that we need to keep perspective on, this is worldwide, okay? So we need to keep perspective on this. So right now, looking at the death rate broken down by age category, from 0 to 9 years, there's been 0 fatalities reported. 10 to 19.2%, 20 to 29.2, 30 to 39.2, 0.4, 1.3, 3.68, and 15%. Now remember, this is not the number of people that contracted, all right, or that have died by contracting. This is if you've been diagnosed and your chance of dying. So that means that out of 100 people between the ages of 10 and 19, okay, only 2 of them, 0.02, so really out of 1,000, it'd be 2 out of 1,000 would die that contract the virus in the first place. So very, very, very low with that. Now, the main thing we're going to be focusing on is really comorbidities, and what those are. Comorbidities are conditions that a person has, and these go with any disease, okay? Conditions that people have that increase your risk of dying. So specifically, this is the fatality rate by comorbidities for the coronavirus. So meaning that of the people, all right, that that died of the coronavirus, you can see that 13.2%, okay, or I guess I should say all cases. So 10.5% of them, so 1 out of 10 of them had cardiovascular disease. 7% had diabetes, 6% had respiratory disease, another 6% had hypertension, 6% had cancer. And then for those that had 0 pre-existing conditions, right? 0 pre-existing conditions, it was less than 1%, okay? So again, we got to really just keep this in perspective here, is that healthy people are not dying of this, okay? And also looking at these rates here, these rates are going to plummet, all right? Remember, our testing is still very, very, very low. So these numbers do not take into account the millions of us that are walking around, okay? Or the millions of you, maybe not that are watching this right now, but let's say the dozens of you that have watched this that were sick earlier in the year and didn't have influenza, you tested negative for the flu, and likely or potentially had the coronavirus. So you start throwing in millions of people that had coronavirus, okay, and we'll be able to do that eventually when the testing is being pumped out like crazy. These numbers are all going to plummet, all right, percentage-wise, especially the ones with no pre-existing conditions, okay? If you want to learn more about that, I encourage you to go on Google and search pandemic math. You'll find some YouTube videos that people that walk that through, and how death rates will always, with every single outbreak, with every pandemic, epidemic, right? Death rates, when they're fully analyzed a couple of years from now, are going to show that these numbers are minuscule, all right? Because the factor we don't know is how many people have been diagnosed, or excuse me, how many people that have been exposed to coronavirus that we don't know if they've have it or not. We don't have the data on that, all right? But they are still, even though that we can't measure them, but they're eventually going to go into these stats. And obviously, if they had it and they didn't die, just that every single person you add in that category is going to make every single one of these numbers go down. So, well, these percentages are high right now still, all right? They're going to go down, all right? But the important thing is to realize is that if you have comorbidities, right, the takeaway tonight is that you can't control everything, but if you have diabetes, okay, you can control 6 months from now if you still have diabetes. And in some cases, and many of my patients, in 4 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now, you can control whether you technically or medically have diabetes or not, okay? Type 2 anyways. So it's very critical to remember that, yes, if you have these, you are at more of a risk, but you also have empowering information. There's probably never been no greater time to have leverage over yourself to finally get down to the bottom of why you have high blood pressure, right? Or if you've been trying to stop smoking, okay, there's probably been never a better time to give up the cigarettes, right, to help your lungs heal and function the way that they're supposed to. Here's another graph. I'm just looking at hospitalizations. This is not even death rates, okay? And this was just done, looked at all the data over March, all right? And they looked at 99 counties, 14 states. So it's a pretty large sample size. So the hospitalization rate for COVID-19 is 4.6 people out of every 100,000 in the population, okay? And you can see that almost 90% of hospitalized patients have some type of underlying conditions. Not only the death rate, but even the ones that are ending up in the hospital. And just because you get in the hospital doesn't mean you're going to die, all right? But again, remember, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of people that have the coronavirus right now, okay, across the country, across the world, that have never had to step foot in the hospital, all right, because they maybe were sick for a few days and they recovered. But you can see hypertension, if you're over the age of 65, really high risk factor for that. Even if you're between 18 to 49 years old, okay, as you can see that about one out of 5 require hospitalization. Look at this with obesity. So of 18 to 49-year-olds, all right, that's in my age bracket, of the hospitalizations, 60% of them were obese, okay? 50% were in the 50 to 64, all right? So you can see that's crazy. Diabetes is here, cardiovascular disease. So really, if you look like overall, I mean, really between hypertension and obesity, those are really the top two common factors for why people are being hospitalized. So guess what? You can do something about both of those, okay, for the most part. It's very rare that people, if you put the plan of action and you follow it regarding lifestyle, that you don't lose weight and you can't even reverse and lower your blood pressure naturally. Here's just a study here. So another quote from that study was the patients age 65 years and older were the most likely to have one or more underlying conditions at 94.4%. compared to 86.4% of those aged 50% and 85.4% who were aged 18 to 44. So yes, are there quote unquote healthy people that are being hospitalized with coronavirus? Yes, but remember, we don't have all the data yet. They're not going to be wasting tests if they don't already know, right? So we don't know what the full story is on all these cases yet. So don't let that scare you. Does comorbidities increase the risk of patients with COVID-19? This is out of Albany, New York, right? The epicenter of, or close to the epicenter of this outbreak right now, at least in the United States terms. They looked at almost 1,600 patients, 6 studies, and a meta-analysis. They looked at all the data and combined all those together. And again, like we said, found that those comorbidities were a major factor in your chance of dying. So let's talk about prevention and resistance. So have to remember that your body, all right, is alive. If you're watching this anyways, it has an immune system, okay? And there is natural things the way God made us, or if you want to go the evolution route or both, combine them, doesn't matter, is that our bodies have developed an immune response that is constantly working, okay? So it's everything we're interacting with, the air that we're breathing, the things that we're touching, the food that we're eating, right? Everything, the immune system is constantly working, it's seeking, it's learning, right? And it's building antibodies when necessary, when needed to help fight, okay? Which is happening all day long. So when sometimes we forget that, just because man can do things to our immune system, that somehow that automatically, right, means that it's the right way. But the way I look at it is that first and foremost, at least everybody that is watching this, hopefully, that I'm going to convince you that you need to be honoring, respecting, and to the best of your ability, be building and working on your natural immune response. Because the stronger that is, right, you're fighting up against nature, right, natural virus, okay, even though they're technically not alive, right, you're going up against that. The best way is going to be something that is also natural nature, which is not something that is synthetic. So by the time you have to rely on a drug or something worse, than that, or more invasive than that, right? Things are not looking good as of right now. So how do we do that? One of the best ways to improve your immunity across the board is to strengthen your gut, okay, and to improve your gut health. We now know that over 70% of your immune system is housed and run and directed by your gut. And mainly that's through your microbiome, all right? So the bacteria that are actually living inside of your gut, which you have trillions of them, you have tens of trillions of bacteria. Oh, and by the way, you have billions, if not more, viruses living inside of your body right now, okay? Viruses inherently and bacteria inherently are not deadly. They're if they kill you, then they have no place to go, right? So it's only when they become out of balance is when they start to cause damage. So one of the best ways to look at is, how do I improve my gut? All right, how is my microbiome? Am I doing things to destroy it? Am I doing things to build it, right, with the foods that I'm eating, or probiotics, or am I eating on the run too much? Am I too stressed, right? Do I take antibiotics every single time I get a little runny nose, okay? Or do I just take medications? All of those things definitely destroy your gut, and really with it, tank and destroy your immune system as well. So when we look at symptoms, and would not just be exclusive to, to COVID-19, coronavirus, bacteria, viruses, but really symptoms are part of the cure, right? The fever, all right, which is the body's natural furnace, if you will, its job is to sense and detect invaders and foreign pathogens, which are getting a foothold, crank up the temperature, right? Because those viruses and bacteria have very narrow windows with which they can survive in, temperature-wise. And so the minute it brings it outside of that, desired temperature range, it starts killing them. Your fever goes high enough, there's actually very special parts of your immune system, one of which is called interferon. And interferon is one of the most potent parts of our immune system, and just can absolutely destroy viruses, bacteria, and other pathogens too. So honor and respect your fevers. They are your God-given way to literally cook out and barbecue, right, those viruses and bacterias. And so when we manipulate them and we lower them, right, then it can have really disastrous effects for your body, because you basically turn and you handcuff or you cripple your body's natural ability to fight that off. And we're actually seeing that specifically with coronavirus, ibuprofen, and I think it was either aspirin or Tylenol, that when that's given, all right, to try to reduce the fever down, that those patients have worse outcomes. So just be very careful about that. Make sure you do your own research on that. Again, coughs, right? So cough is a natural way of the body to expel or get rid of, right? So the mucus will form to create, and the surfactant will stick it to it, right? And the white blood cells in the mucus will start to destroy it. And then we cough and we get it out. So the minute you start suppressing your cough in any circumstance, right, you're eliminating that exit strategy, if your body's exit strategy for getting rid of the pathogens which are in your lungs. So you want to work on definitely keeping that as clear as possible. And even the sniffles and the mucus, right, which a lot of us have that going on right now because of pollen and allergies, right? Which, is definitely, making people a little bit nervous to go out because you'll sneeze or cough or whatever, and people think you have coronavirus. And I was like, no, I just have the allergies, which is a whole different topic there. But even that, like, right, your nose will run, right, to remove, right, because the main pathways, it's an airborne, COVID's an airborne virus, right, that it's going to go in mainly through your mouth or through your nose, right? So think about that as your body is going to do everything it can to protect it. So you really don't want to stop that. And in fact, if I were you, if you have allergies, you would really strongly need to consider not medicating the drainage of that, because if you're shutting that pathway down, right, and then you're exposed to the coronavirus, that you potentially eliminated or removed your body's ability to fight that off. So you got to kind of think about, allergies versus coronavirus with that. Good. All right. I'm just checking my comments here. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, we're going to have a great evening. Just getting rolling here. Okay. First question time. Here's how we're going to do this. So what you're going to do is with Facebook, all right, we are going to be entered to win a prize. And the first one that I'm going to give away, we'll do vitamin D, all right, first. Okay, so we're going to do vitamin D3. So what you're going to do in the comments section is you're going to put number 1, all right, and then you're going to put, so I know it's question number 1, because I'm going to have to go back and go through all these. And then you're going to put letter A, B, C, or D, right? Or whatever the question is asking you for it. When we get to question 2 later, you're going to put number 2, and then you're going to put your letter choice. So the question number 1 is the current death rate of people with no pre-existing conditions is A, 0.4%, B, 0.9%, C, 1.3%, and D, 3.1%. So go ahead and remember, type number 1 in the comments and then put your letter corresponding to what you think is the correct answer. And if you're just jumping on right now, I will be giving all of the answers, or all the answers to the questions in the talk. And so it will be good for you to pay attention. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to go ahead and hop on and do that right now. Before I move on. Good, lots of questions. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna make me work. That's all right, it's good, it's good. Keep you engaged. This is for vitamin D, which I'll be talking about that in a few minutes. So current death rate, people with no pre-existing conditions is either 0.4%, 0.9%, 1.3%, or 3.1%. And I'm gonna move on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. All right. So in our clinic and our health center, we focus on not only ways to build a healthy immune system, but really to build a healthy body in general, to strengthen it, to make it more resilient. And we do those through our 5 essentials, which is core chiropractic and how your body is able to function and heal as it is supposed to. Nutrition, fueling your body, and don't just live to eat, but really eat to live. Having a strong mindset, okay? Oxygen and exercise, particularly important for the coronavirus right now. And then minimizing toxins too. So we're gonna go through a few immune stressors, all right? Starting with nutrition. And so the first one is gonna be to cut the sugar, all right? Now, if you notice, I didn't just put pictures of candy up here. In fact, that's what I had before about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. And I decided to change to put it to this because everybody knows, oh yeah, I shouldn't eat candy. Sugar is bad for me, right? But what about all these other things on here like fruit, bread, pasta, rice, right? All those things break down into sugar. And if you want to know how bad sugar is for you, all right, one of my friends compiled, give me one second. Compiled a list, okay, of as many references as they could find talking about how sugar destroys your immune system. Okay, so this is a Word document. It has 143 pure or medical journaled or researched articles talking about how sugar destroys your immune system, right? So if anybody wants this because they have a skeptical friend, just let me know and I can email it to you. Just email me in order to get that. But so you just have to really think again, how does this play a role? Like, as I am laying around my house, right, not really going out a lot, and I meaning you, okay, and you're putting things in your body that are destroying your immune system, you have to realize that ultimately you're actually worse off than taking good care of yourself and going out in the world and living your life. Okay, so again, you have to do what you think is best for you, but remember, not only is sugar going to tank your immune system, but it's also going to increase those other comorbidities, which are spiking death rates, right? Sugar and carbohydrates increase your hypertension, right? They increase diabetes, they increase inflammation. So you got to really think about, again, what can I control? And what you can control right now is what you're putting inside of your body. So with Max Living, we have the Max Living Advanced Plan, and I'm also a big proponent of fasting, all right, and how very beneficial that is for your immune system. So we have several books in our clinic that cover these topics. If you're not local, you can email me, and I can make sure I can get you a link to buy that book, all right, or buy their information, or I can point you in direction of more resources. So we'll talk about vitamins here for a little bit, and this is the girl pictured here. That's Megan. She's a nurse practitioner. She's the nurse practitioner for restorative IV therapies. She works in conjunction with our clinic here locally, and so my wife and I have been wanting to do intravenous vitamin therapy for years, and just really couldn't find the right practitioner in town that wasn't either weird or they didn't charge too much. And so we got introduced to Megan through one of my other patients, and she's just been great to work with. I know many of you have had intravenous, vitamin therapies through her before. And so I've gotten actually one done the past couple of weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row. Actually, we got one done this past Saturday. And I have to say this, I'm a big needle wimp. In fact, the first time I did it, I didn't make it. I had to pull it out after about 30. Well, I didn't pull it out, but she had to pull it out after 30 seconds because I was almost going to pass out. And since then, I put my big boy pants on, and I've been able to do it. And really great. This past Saturday, she even threw in a little bit of anti-aging stuff there, some glutathione, biotin, and a bunch of other immune boosting factors too. So, and why I bring this up and why I'm doing this right now, really, I think this is good to do anyways, but why I'm doing it as often as I'm doing it right now is because really the best way to absorb vitamins and nutrition is to get it pumped straight into your bloodstream, right? Which is what this intravenous vitamin therapy does. And so super beneficial. I can't recommend it enough. If you want to learn more information about that, just message me and I'll get you in contact with her. I don't have anything to do with her business other than I'm just supporting her, and we're working in conjunction in tandem. And we do offer the service at our clinic, but it's not through me. It's through her. She basically just rents out space for me, but I can't recommend that enough, especially if you're on the front line right now. If you're like a nurse or working in healthcare, or in a job that's essential and around a lot of people, I think it's just really smart to be keeping your body at top notch, which is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to go through some things here now that are absolutely is going to blow your butt off. I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth here a little bit. 1 second. All right, so hopefully you can read this. I know it's kind of small, but we'll see if I can do this. So this is written by a PhD MD, PhD, and another, I think this is a master of biochemistry, talking about COVID-19 and vitamin D. So really, there's just a ton of information, in this here, just crazy as I'm scrolling through this, right? But I want to go through a few highlights. So here's the summary. So vitamin D deficiency is common during winter in northern latitudes above 20 degrees and southern latitudes 20 degrees below the equator, right? So kind of the top and the bottom. So severe COVID outbreaks have only happened above 20 degrees latitude, right? And that was as of the end of March. And outbreaks in the southern hemisphere, okay, summer hemisphere, have been very mild so far. SARS, coronavirus 2, or what another name for the virus, enters the cells via ACE2 receptors, and viral replication downregulates these receptors, okay, with renin-angiotensin system, okay, causing ARDS. Many of you have heard that before. That's what these people are coming in and they're in rough shape with. So vitamin D deficiency is strongly associated with ARDS. Vitamin D acts to rebalance the RAS and attenuates lung injury, protects the lungs. Vitamin D supplementation reduces the risk of acute respiratory tract infection. So it's a steroid hormone. It's safe to take in D3, all right? So orally, which I'm a big fan of, but also sunlight, of course. So just check this out. I'm going to go through this super fast here, but this is critical for you guys to understand this. So vitamin D deficiency occurs in winter months since vitamin D is synthesized in the skin during summer exposure to UVB rays, okay? Check this out. Italy has one of the worst vitamin D deficiency rates in Europe and has paid the highest death toll per capita anyways. Italy found serum levels of vitamin D lower than 12 nanograms per milliliter, or less than 30 nanomoles a liter, and as many as 76% of 700 women tested between the ages of 60 to 80. So you look at these factors, right? You have an older population, right, 60 to 80, and they're vitamin D deficient, right? 76%, so 3 out of 4 of them that were tested had hypovitaminosis D, right, or low levels of vitamin D in Europe. And look at that, and that's where the biggest issue has been. So the only outlier to this is that Japan also have low levels of vitamin D, right? But we also know that there's other factors for this, right? So vitamin D is not the only factor for this, but it's definitely one of those things that make you go, right? And you look at where the worst outbreaks have been. Washington State, right? Michigan, New York, New Jersey, okay? That upper, especially the dense ones right there. Really, the only other area that's been pretty bad, to my knowledge, is New Orleans, but they have a lot of infrastructure issues and really just not a good capacity to handle really anything, right? Unfortunately, medically right now. So I think they're also an outlier in terms of this too. So you can see other coronaviruses. Remember, like I think there's at least a dozen coronaviruses that we know about, and influenza outbreaks. So this is not the first time a coronavirus has happened. Like, I know we're all losing our minds over this crap, right? But like, this is not the first time this thing has come around, or something like it has come around. And you can see the spikes of, viruses and outbreaks, right, in these winter months here, going back 2006. Look at November, December, January, February, March, boom, right? And then May, look at, boom, plateaued and it dropped off, right? Little spike in July again, right? And then flat again. Back up again, all right? And down. Summer down. Big spike here, 09, right? And then back down again. So just looking at the coronaviruses and influenzas over a 3-year study. So we're talking about more, information about how it causes that, but this is just crazy. And they go into all the specific mechanisms of how vitamin D really helps to protect the body against really bad stuff happening. So pretty cool, huh? All right. So if that was not clear enough, then I am a huge fan right now of, hold on, I'm getting my screen back. There we go. Taking vitamin D. All right. I think every single person should be taking this, unless the only reason why you shouldn't be taking it is if your levels of vitamin D are above 80 nanomoles per liter, all right? And if you don't know if that's the case or not, then you need to get that test done immediately. I think this is the most important time you could ever know your vitamin D test. I mean, I could go over 50 other reasons why you need to know that. But if you do not know what your vitamin D number is right now, you got to get that test done. If you have trouble with that, you can order it through me. It's like 20 some bucks at LabCorp. It's super cheap. And you need to know this, because if you're down around 10, 20, 30, 40, shoot, if you're even below 50 right now in your vitamin D levels, I would be cranking that supplementation levels up so high because of how protective it is. Also, if you're sitting around on your butt inside of your house all day long and not getting out for some peak sunlight, I mean, when or other chance are you going to have 20, 30 minutes to go out and, between 11 and 1 in the middle of the day and get some beautiful sunshine and synthesize vitamin D naturally right inside of your body? Like, holy crap, if you're not getting out in the sun right now, like, what is your issue? What is your damage? All right, just go sit on your porch, right? Go walk around your house. All right, clinical trial to test high dose vitamin C in patients. So this was published literally less than a week ago, right? So these things are starting to be looked at. A lot of this came from, here we go. Where this actually started was the ground zero for this starting, which was in Wuhan, China, right? And they were looking at new clinical trial to investigate vitamin C infusion, the treatment of severe, coronavirus infected pneumonia. And they looked at it. They were doing 24 grams a day for 7 days. They did really good in some initial trials. So they're doing a lot larger study with 140 people. So recent study in the U.S., 167 patients with sepsis-related ARDS, right? Remember that acute respiratory distress syndrome. When they were given 15 grams of vitamin C for 4 days, it decreased mortality. So what I was getting done up in this picture here was actually 25 grams. And I've been getting that much weekly on top of what I've been taking orally as well. But you can't get that high a dosage without getting a specific test done, which I'll go over in a second, okay? Here was actually the Chinese paper looking at, I know none of us can read this here, but there's an English part here. And they've been working on this here and using high dose C to treat the new coronavirus, and they achieved good results in their clinical applications. So what's interesting is that Megan here, the nurse practitioner, she was saying that she's having a harder time buying bulk vitamin C. It's getting harder and harder to get. They're limiting order sizes because hospitals are starting to buy it up. Go figure, we can only hope, okay? So getting intravenous vitamin C or vitamins might not be feasible for all of you, or it just may not be, you'd rather die than get a needle stuck in your arm. I totally get it. So you can take it orally, and I think you should be taking this multiple times a day, every single day. I would say the average adult should be taking really about between 6,000 and 8,000 milligrams orally per day, spread out over, kind of 2,000, milligram size doses. So getting 3 to 4 servings of that. And you can't overdose on this. I mean, technically you can, but you'll just have a little bit of diarrhea with that. So I'd rather be like pushed to the limit with vitamin C versus being anywhere underneath that for susceptibilities. So several different options inside my clinic. It's getting harder to find. Actually, we got, I think, 12 vitamin C in this afternoon. The BioFizz here, I don't know how many are left because I wasn't there because I was working on this here, but it's stuff, it's flying off the shelves, and it's getting harder and harder to secure. Like about 80% of the supplement companies, as far as I could look at, are sold out, and they won't be up and running, until May at the earliest. So there's powder form, which is great. This is great for kids, for whole families, because it tastes kind of like a little fizzy orange drink. And then there also is capsule forms too, if you don't like that. All right, question time. Question number 2, all right. Of hospitalized patients with COVID-19, and this is all the age groups combined, okay, what percentage had other health challenges? Is it A, 80%, B, 90%, C, 95%, or D, 99%? So you're going to write number 2, all right, and then write your letter question. So I'm going to give a few minutes. So hospitalized patients with coronavirus, what percentage had other health challenges or other comorbidities? 90% or 80%, 90%, 95%, or 99%. So put number 2. So I know question number 2, I can go back and check this out, and your letter number. So I'm just going to see, I think we got some questions here. I'm going to go through these. Still offering it now. Yeah, so again, I'm assuming this is about the IV vitamin therapy. Yes, just email me or talk to me in the clinic, and I can get you Megan's information. Why are the Italians deficient in vitamin D? It's Mediterranean. Yeah, so great question. I can't say I know for sure the answer. Part of it might be that they genetically just don't synthesize it very well. Could be that they're a little bit darker skin. Could be that they don't go outdoors very often. Again, I don't know why they're notoriously low for that, but they are. Minimum sun exposure for vitamin D synthesis. So it's really for quality vitamin D synthesis, it would be 80 to 90% of your full body exposed. So basically wearing a swimsuit, right, for about 20, 30 minutes. So, or you're, and which is going to be tough for many people to get that way. So that's why supplementation is oftentimes almost always needed for everybody. Beautiful. All right. Moving on. Hopefully we're all doing well so far. If you're watching this and you haven't liked this and or you haven't shared it, if you would feel so inclined, that would be much appreciated. And yeah, like I just want to make sure as many people as possible can get this. Oh, I see I got a frowny face, angry face. Oh, it was Vonda. You must have done that by accident. So I'm pretty sure, Vonda, you would be angry at me. All right, so let's talk about garlic. Oh, I love garlic. So amazing. So check this out. This is in vitro virucidal, so killing viruses, effects of Allium sativum, which is garlic, extract and compounds. So garlic has been shown to have antiviral activity, but the compounds have not been fully identified. All right, so they looked at this and they found that, inside of an in vitro situation, so inside of a cell, like a controlled environment, right, found that these viruses were toxic, all right, cytotoxic, which means it kills them with that. And cytotoxicity may have depended on the viral envelope, okay? So, sorry, there's a lot of words here. Where is it? So it's talking about how viruses, garlic is virucidal for viruses that have an envelope, okay? Remember, going all the way back up here, pathophysiology, coronavirus are enveloped or enveloped, okay? Positive strand RNA viruses. So is the research yet showing specifically that garlic kills or can protect you, okay, from the coronavirus? No, but we do know through biochemistry, if you will, that it is really good at killing viruses that have an envelope on them or are enveloped like coronavirus is. So kind of more breakdown here, cytotoxicity, talks about how it breaks it down, talks about dosages. It inhibits the virus. He talks about the influenza, right? H1N1, right, which was a last major, one of the last major epidemics. Okay, so again, garlic is very good, and guess what? It's almost free. Okay, to do that, it's super, super, super cheap. You're looking at it right here. You just eat these little things, throw them right in your mouth, chew real fast, chase it down with some water. That's the cost-effective way to do it. If that makes your toes curl thinking about it, they do make it in supplement form. However, save yourself 20-some bucks and just eat the garlic and just chew it fast, get it over with. You're not going to die. It's actually great for the gut. It's really good. It's antimicrobial for pathogenic bacteria inside of your gut too. For people that have like SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or other gut issues, garlic and parsley here is very, very, very good for that. So, but again, try to do the raw stuff first. Cooked is not. It kills it. It kills the allicin. It kills those magic compounds in there. So make sure that you're eating it raw, okay? So next one, we're going to talk about monolaurin or lauric acid. So a chemical reaction known as esterification combines lauric acid and glycerol to yield an amazing compound known as monolaurin. This reaction can occur within our body and in a laboratory. Monolaurin acts as a surfactant, which possesses an even greater antiviral and antibacterial activity than its precursor lauric acid. So given therapeutic doses of monolaurin is generally well tolerated, with loose bowels being the only negative concern, so your body flushing it out, right? Monolaurin has been extensively studied at medical research centers, including the CDC, because of its high antimicrobial, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-yeast, antiprotozoal activity. These studies were provided information about the antiviral, antibacterial mechanism of monolaurin, and it's been found to be, look at this, effective against certain lipid-coated bacteria and lipid-coated viruses, enveloped DNA and RNA viruses. What is coronavirus? Going back to this again, enveloped RNA viruses. All right, so again, just disclaimer, there's been nothing to show that this stuff here, all right, at least in a specific study that's shown that, you know, monolaurin or lauric acid can kill or protect you against the coronavirus, right? But we're just using simple biology here. So basically what it does is that it destroys and disrupts the cell membrane, all right, the coating around the virus, which is protecting the genetic material inside of that. And so just like if you were to have all your skin off, like you would be dead very quickly because there's nothing left to protect you from that. So then the immune system can really wipe these things out too. So monolaurin is something that I mainly used for other viruses like Epstein-Barr virus, okay, mono, very, very good for that. Also, you know, herpes, simplex, HSV, herpes zoster, and HIV too even has a little bit of an effect on that. So the cool thing is, so lauric acid is found in coconut oil. So coconut oil should be something that you should be doing regularly every single day. Again, very antimicrobial. You should be rinsing your mouth out with it. You could even be putting a little bit on the inside of your nostrils to, you know, to protect against exposure through that. Again, is doing that going to make sure you never get the coronavirus? I can't say that, but what we're doing is we're trying to stack the deck in our favor. So whoever gets question number 2 right that we did earlier, all right, I'll have a bottle of monolaurin available for you as a prize drawing. This is what it looks like right here. And we do have a little bit in the office, so I can get you ordered, get that ordered for you online. So almost through the supplements here. So melatonin, and this is specifically talking about COVID-19, coronavirus. Many of you that have been following me for a while, you know that melatonin is one of my favorite, if not my most favorite supplement right now. And just got a ton of amazing properties, including being shown to be very protective against the coronavirus. So here are the key parts about it. It's a well-known anti-inflammatory antioxidant, okay? It's protective against ARDS, right? So it's a very lung protective component, very important for keeping the lungs protected, right? Which is what's killing people ultimately that die of coronavirus, right? So, and also acute lung injury. So very high safety profile. You see here, notably melatonin has a high safety profile. I've seen studies where rats were given 180 milligrams of melatonin with no side effects, right? So a little tiny rat, 180 milligrams, no side effects whatsoever. I take a couple different ones. I have this one here, which is by Scientific Health Solutions. Super hard to get. In fact, I placed an order like 3 months ago and I still haven't gotten it because they're just a very small lab company. They're the only ones that make high dosage, like this is a 60 milligram dose of melatonin. And we have another one through Designs for Health that is a 6 milligram dose. So I've been taking 3 or 4 of those at a time, which is what I did last night. I would show you my bottle of that, but I actually finished it and threw it away. But you can see here that, remember, we've been hearing about the cytokine storm, right? That's what's happening to these people that's killing them. And this is what melatonin has been shown to protect against, right? It's been shown to protect against other types of cytokine storms or other things that trigger and cause cytokine storms. So again, the reason why there's not major data, this is a novel, coronavirus, right? It's a novel virus. You've heard that. It's a new one. So that means it just has not been long-term, large-based studies. So they're just, extrapolating a lot of information from that. So you should be taking melatonin all the time anyways. But even now, more than ever, not missing it. It's just super, super good for you. Here's the mechanism. So we're not going to go through this right here, but it shows how all the mechanisms of how melatonin can really help drive this. So see, we get in, if this is cytokine storm, these immune and oxidative responses, inflammation gets out of control, then you go in that cytokine storm, and then you end up in that acute respiratory distress syndrome, right? Which ultimately can lead to death, all right? That's what most people are dying from, or potentially can recover, right? But you get infected lungs right first, and then which creates the inflammation, the immune response, oxidative stress, then it becomes uncontrolled. So you can see here that melatonin has different areas where it's interacting with the body to stop or essentially block some of those things from happening. So you can see that even when your lungs are getting, if they were to get infected, right, by SARS, it's working through interleukin and other VEGF, TNF, tumor necrosis factors, right? Looking at your white blood cells. So one of the things is that the coronavirus is it shuts down your white blood cells and T helper cells. It upregulates your interleukin levels, which leads to inflammation, right? But melatonin will block that and really stop those things from happening or mitigate it, if you will. Also, when you get more oxidative enzymes, melatonin also acts right there too. It blocks and really reduces a lot of these other things related to acute respiratory distress, right? So again, you just very, very powerful. Here's another study. I'm just going to skip that. I just want to show that I got more. Here's another one. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull this up real quick because this stuff is really cool. 1 second. If this is good stuff and you haven't already liked this, I would appreciate it. Spread the wealth around. Give me 1 second. Oh, goodness. It's maybe not going to let me. Oh, there we go. All right. So really cool stuff in here. Let me just let this load up. Here we go. So again, just looking at tons and tons of data on how this, and I'm just showing you again that this is like very well researched, and there's just all kinds of research and medical literature that's going on with that. But one of the key things to remember is that, or one of the hypothesis and the theories right now of why so few young people are being affected by this is that young people, because melatonin is very high when you're young, okay? And it actually will trail down, it'll decrease down the older we get, all right? So it's not the only reason, but it's really the reason why you just haven't seen deaths under the age of 9, because they just have peak high levels of melatonin, which is pretty cool. So here is what the Designs for Health brand looks like. All right, and I do know we have some of that in our office. Melatonin is also getting a lot harder to come by in supplement form too, just because people are realizing that it's very, very, very good. All right, question number 3. And with that, what I'll do is I will give away a bottle of melatonin if you're the winner here. This one should hopefully be an easy one, so I have a chance to win this. So question number 3, what European country have the highest rates of hypovitaminosis D or low vitamin D? Is it A, Italy, B, Spain, C, England, D, Croatia, or E, France? So you'll put, again, number 3 and then your answer. So if you think it's Italy, you'll put A. If you think it's England, you'll put number 3, C, number 3, D, if you think it's Croatia, all right? And so on and so forth. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to look at some questions here. So we got a question, how many cloves of garlic? I'd say 1 to 2 per day is good. I usually think you should do it at nighttime, because then really the stink is going to be gone by the next day. So you can make basil pesto with raw garlic. Absolutely. Super easy. How much monolaurin do you take? Just as directed, which is about 2 grams a day. Is it a regular thing? No, not really. I'm taking it right now preventatively. So, but I did not take it prior to this going on. So that was this question here. Regular thing. I mean, I really don't think so, unless you have Epstein-Barr virus or other chronic viruses based on your blood work. Then it's one of the best things you could do. It's been one of the only things to get rid of or work on killing off Epstein-Barr virus. How much melatonin? Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody. The minimum amount I take is about 24 milligrams a night, upwards of 60. So that's just me. There's no perfect answer on that. Can you speak to the dependency of melatonin? I don't know what you're talking about for that. So there's been, if you're talking about the myth that the more that you take, that the less like your body produces, like there's some kind of negative feedback loop with that, that's been disproven. So it does not create a dependency, if I think I know what you're asking with that. So does melatonin need to be taken with anything to be more effective? No, but quality is definitely king there. Poor quality of melatonin can have side effects that are not bad. They're just like you might have really crazy dreams, or it might make you groggy. High quality melatonin really shouldn't make you groggy. It makes less than 10% people groggy anyways. So, but it's still worth it to me. Yeah. So yeah, I know. I used to believe that too. Not proven. I've never seen a research study. I wasn't even looking at to prove it either. So, all right. Question number 3, closing. Moving on. So now, last one we're going to talk about is zinc. And again, it's just a major potent antiviral. So I got a bunch of zinc, shot it straight into my bloodstream the other day. Sorry, the last couple weeks. So it's good stuff. So you can see that it's crucial for growth, development, and maintenance of immune function. Integral component of approximately 10% of the human proteome. So it's involved in 10% of all your proteins, right? Hundreds of key enzymes in your body. Zinc deficiency is strikingly common and affects up to 1/4 of the population, okay? I've seen studies that show it could be as high as 50%. So you can see zinc deficient populations are often most at risk for acquiring viral infections. So, and this was back in 2019 July. So they went to reference coronavirus here because it was before its time. Okay, but you can see HIV or hepatitis C, all viruses. Stimulates antiviral immunity as a direct antiviral, so direct killing factor or virucidal effect. Anyway, zinc is very, very good, at that too. Zinc is super cost effective. I think this one that you see on here is like $14 for 90. So for a 3-month supply. So we're talking like roughly about $5 for a month. All right, for that. So very, very, very cheap. Great for the immune system, not just antiviral, but zinc is huge for the immune system. I said I would be remiss talking about the things that you can do, especially easy things to do, if we didn't talk about fasting. Fasting regenerates your immune system. So this is research that was done a couple of years ago, and it's about 6 years ago now, and talked about how 3 days of fasting actually has the potential to regenerate your entire immune system. So just mind-boggling stuff. I think there's no better time that you could be fasting as right now, is because you're just save money, right? I actually just read an article earlier today that was talking about our meat supply. Our domestic meat supply is on the verge of breaking. So that could be happening in some other food supply chains. So like start conserving food, right? If anything, you'll save it for later and it'll be good for your health. You'll lose some weight. It'd be great for your immune system and inflammatory system too. So here are the top labs that I am currently running right now for patients that are just really want to make sure that their body's in tip-top shape. So first one is CRP, C-reactive protein. And it's really the top blood chemistry marker for predicting a heart attack or heart disease. Remember, that was the number one comorbidity factor right now as far as killing people if you have heart disease. So super cheap. It's like $4 or $5 to do that. If you want to get high doses of vitamin C, like over 5 grams straight into your bloodstream, you need to get a test that's done that's called the G6PD test. And that's $49. You can order that through me. If you want to get high dose vitamin C, Megan will not allow you to do that if we don't have your score on that, your marker, because it could make you sick or worse if we just kind of guessed with that. So if you're thinking you want to get a high dose vitamin C at some point, you need to make sure you reach out to me first so we can get that done right away, because the turnaround is probably about a week from when I order it to when you get it to when we get the results back. You just email me if you want to do that. Homocysteine, another risk factor for heart disease. ESR, inflammation, erythrosedimentation rate. The higher the number that is, the more inflammation you have. Fasting insulin and A1C level. So really, again, remember, diabetes is a comorbidity factor for coronavirus. Vitamin D, I hammered on that before. Like, again, if you don't know what your vitamin D3 level is for $20, it's something that could literally not only protect you against the coronavirus potentially, right, but really prevent cancer and save your life. Okay. You got to know that number, because you got to know how much you should be supplementing, or maybe not. Maybe your vitamin D is good and supplementing could be actually making you hypervitaminosis D or too much. And then a CBC in hematology. So a hematology panel like a CMP, just to get a look at your white blood cells and how the breakdown of that is your body susceptible or not. So if you want blood work, all right, what you need to do is email me at drgregbarnes@hotmail.com, put in the subject line, put immune blood work. If you've had labs done, even if they're a couple years old, I want you to attach a copy of your most recent ones in there. And then we'll converse from there. Only serious inquiries, right? Like, I'm super busy right now, which I'm more than happy to help people out. But like, if you're just kind of plinking around, like, let's just, save it for a time when you're super serious. And the reason why I say that is that insurance will not cover this through me. Now, it's surprisingly not as expensive as you might think to even run everything that I just showed on that slide right there. But insurance will not cover getting it done through me. If you want to get them done through your medical doctor, perfect. And you can get them done. I can give you the list, right? Again, and I'll just send you do a small charge for reviewing them. It'll take time to do that. When you order them through me, I include the lab review in every blood work order that I do. So it's not an additional charge for me to analyze that and then, meet with you or do a Skype or Zoom or something to break down what needs to be done about that. Okay, so just email me, subject line, immune blood work from that, and then I'm gonna move on. So if you forget any of this stuff, I'll remind you about it. So oxygen and exercise. So on the front lines, they're starting to run into some very interesting pieces here regarding the ventilators. So I'll be honest, I was not really well versed in why ventilators were, other than I know they're for people that, can't breathe for a certain way, but the main reason why ventilators are used, if we just take coronavirus out of it, is because people physically are less able to breathe on their own, like mechanically, like there's either, emphysema, COPD, or something where they physically can't do it. So what they're finding with COVID-19 patients, and the reason why the vast majority that get put on a ventilator ultimately die, is because it's not solving the problem. What they're finding is that it's more of an oxygen transportation issue, right? It's that cytokine storm and other factors that are impairing the body's ability to transport oxygen. What several doctors are saying is what they're seeing in their labs is that it's similar to like what they find in people that have are not used to being at a high altitude. Like if we were just like, all got in a big helicopter and just flew up to the top of Mount Everest, okay, and landed without not acclimating along the stages, you have to go up the mountain over weeks because you have to acclimate at all these different elevations to have you're making more hemoglobin, right, to transport the oxygen. They're finding that, what would happen to us up there is that we'd physically be able to breathe okay, because nothing wrong with us, but we would die of oxygen starvation because we would not have the proper transportation mechanics, if you will, inside of our blood to bring oxygen where it needs to go. That's what they're finding with people with coronavirus 19. So your oxygen capacity, right, if we go back to the beginning here, like the comorbidity factors, right, why if you already have chronic respiratory disease, why that's a factor, okay, right, is major. It's a major, major, major issue. So this is why oxygen and getting exercise right now, getting out and moving your body, and because even if you do a little bit of exercise, right, you're going to increase your body's oxygen saturation percentage a little bit compared to the day before, right? And you just keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. You really can control that. And again, like most of you have more time on your hands than you normally would right now. So stress is a big one. I know we're all stressed right now. I mean, dang, we are all stressed, and I get it. There's a lot going on. Some of you are not working right now. Some of you are uncertain if you will be working. Some of you are uncertain if you're going to be able to make your mortgage payment next week, or your car payment, or whatever it is, or you don't know if your business can survive another month of lockdown. There's a lot going on. Your kids are driving you nuts because you're not used to being around them all day long. You're trying to get work done in your house, but they're wanting to do this and that, right? Like there's a lot of stress going on. I get it. Okay, I totally get it. The problem is that stress will tank your immune system faster than almost anything. Most of the stress hormones, adrenaline, aldosterone, cortisol, right, and we could go on and on and on, are a part of the fight or flight response, and it downregulates or it decreases your immune system when that's happening. So you need to find moments of peace. You need to find moments of joy right now, whether that be meditation, reading good books. I would eliminate absolutely every single stressor that you can control right now. You have enough stress going on. You don't need to watch the dang Trump, coronavirus, Fauci, whoever that. You don't need to watch that every single day to know what's going on. Okay, right? It's bad out there. We're still not working, right? Everything is still locked down. It didn't change. It's no different than yesterday. People are still dying. People are still getting diagnosed with coronavirus. But guess what? You're not. You don't have it. So why are you allowing yourself to be sucked into a position where that you're increasing your risk of that could be in you, or much worse? Actually, side note, tangent. Check this out. Give me 1 second. Because we're looking at not just the impact of the coronavirus here, but how stress totally damages the body, all right? And so what they found in this research study is that the more stressed you are, it actually speeds up tumor and therefore cancer growth inside of your body, okay? So I am worried that we are going to see a surge in cancers over the next 1 to 5 years as a result of all the stress that we're under right now. I hope I'm wrong, all right? I will eat my words if I'm wrong. And crazy, 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 crazy. So just remember that there's a lot more going on. There's a lot of indirect consequences, again, that you largely can control if, all right, if, hold on, let me get my PowerPoint back here. If you're making conscious action steps to do that, okay? So deep breathing exercises are key. In through your nose. It's also a good way to get oxygen, right? In through your nose, 7 seconds. And then out through your nose. So a lot of times you think in through your nose, out through your mouth. You're going to go in and out through your nose to more trigger a rest and digest, a parasympathetic response. You should do this every night before you go to bed, because you do not want to go into bed in a state of stress. You want to go into a bed to sleep, or try to go to sleep in a state of relaxation. This is why many of your sleep sucks, all right, is because you're in fight or flight and your body is physically not letting you go to sleep because it senses danger, it senses stress. Why would it let you go to sleep if you got all this crap on your mind that it's sensing as danger, right? It doesn't know the difference between we're going to get robbed versus like, how am I going to, I forgot to take out the trash last night and there's stress from that, right? Like it doesn't know the difference. Stress is stress to the body. So you got to work on that. All right. Next one is, I'm getting a little funky with these things being in my ears for the last hour, is core chiropractic. So you really have to function well to be well. It's as simple as that. And so neurophysiology is the scientific study of the brain and the central nervous system and how it controls every single aspect of our health and perception of the world. Okay. So we oftentimes mistake health for just how we look or how we feel, but that's not the case, because you can look good on the outside and be sick on the inside, right? You can even feel good and be developing sickness and disease on the inside of your body. So health is about how your body heals and functions, okay? And what controls all the function healing of your body? Well, that's your central nervous system that does it. It's your brain, your spinal cord, your nerves. That's what controls every single aspect of who you are, how your body functions or doesn't, right? Is running through your nervous system. Now, when we look at how symptoms show up, okay, the crazy part is that, we're all relatively born at 100%, function, life, vitality, and eventually we're all going to be at 0%. Now, what's interesting is that symptoms do not show up when your body drops to 90% function. You can feel fine at 90%. You can feel fine at 80%. You can even feel fine or fantastic at 71%. Shoot, you can even feel fine or fantastic at 61.2%. But for most symptoms in our body, whether it be heartburn, sciatica, headaches, allergies, sinus issues, that part of your body has to drop below 60% function in order for you to start exhibiting symptoms. Well, the problem is that 50% right here, right, is halfway towards what? Being dead. So we also look at other factors with our spine right now. Many of you are spending way more time hunched over a non-ergonomically correct workstation, right? I'm going to be doing an ergonomics talk for my patients in our private group in about a week, okay, maybe 2 weeks, just to help you guys really keep working through that. But many times we've believed this thing that there's like my stress, okay, I carry that on my neck and my shoulders. Well, there's no, stress does not know where to go, okay? Stress does not know like, oh, I'm going to go to the right rectus capitis posterior major muscle, okay? The stress goes to area of weakness, of compromise. When your head is stretched forward like this, looking at technology all day, every day, these muscles get chronically stretched. And when they get stretched, they tighten, they spasm, they form trigger points, right? And okay, and they literally tighten up. So the reason why you're always tight in these muscles right here, okay, is not because you have a stress problem. It's because you have a neck problem. You have a posture problem. If you want to fix this, all right, you have to fix your posture. And that's, of course, what we do in our office. So among many other things. Now, military neck, and these are the bones of a spine right here, or a model showing of which is when you have 100% loss of curve. Now, what that does, pathogenic wise inside of the body, is that it lengthens your spinal cord, okay? Which if you take a rubber band on each end and you pull it, all right, it's going to get thinner in the middle, which is not good. Which is why you get thinning of the spinal cord. It puts 40 pounds per square inch of pressure on the anterior, the front portion of the spinal cord, right? Think about 40 pounds per square inch. That's a lot for very delicate tissue. You get histological, which is tissue changes of the vascular system of the spinal cord due to that mechanical compression. You get degenerative changes to the dura mater part of your spinal cord. You get compression of the subarachnoid space. If you've ever heard of something called stenosis, okay? That's this layman's term basically of these two things that are happening right here. So this is the number one problem that I see in my office, is this loss of curvature. It straightens out, and it's because of what we're doing to ourselves and what we're doing posture-wise all day long, every day. So you got to fix that posture, or it will kill you. All right, it is killing you. So here are some of the warning signs, right? As these nerves get damaged coming out of our spine, they create symptoms, they create malfunction, they create breakdown. The nerves control every single part of your body, your neurological system does. So if they are not firing properly, if they're not communicating properly, your body is not working the way that it's supposed to. It's as simple as that. If you want to strengthen your body, all right, you strengthen your neurological system. All right, question number 4. I threw this in here as a curveball. I was going to spend more time talking about toxins, but I'm already going too long. So this will be a little bit tricky, all right? Question number 4, regarding toxins, what antioxidants or what antioxidant do toxins commonly deplete or most prevalently deplete? Is it A, vitamin C, B, melatonin, C, vitamin D, D, glutathione, or E, superoxide dismutase? So again, you're going to put number 4 and then the letter of the one you think is the right answer. I'm going to go through a couple of questions here too. So George Ramos, Senor Jorge Ramos, do you jump to 5 milligrams melatonin or you just start with the lowest dose? So the lowest one that I even have in my clinic is 6 milligrams. So yes, I mean, personally, I went from 0 to 20 or 60, sorry, in one shot. So how long does an IV therapy session last? They're about an hour. Do you know if the multivitamin you sell for kids is enough zinc? It's a good question. I don't know that off the top of my head. How many milligrams of zinc is recommended? I think what it says on here about 30 milligrams is enough in the zinc avail there. You could take 2 just if you wanted to be extra safe for that. Can we get a copy of the misalignment? And yeah, just email me or message me and I can send you that slide. No problem. All right, moving on. So other reasons, and I could have gone through dozens more, but why chiropractic is so important for y'all's health right now. So you can see that maintenance patients here, there's a study done, is that chiropractic patients under care for 5 years or more have been found to have a 200% greater immune competence or strength, right, than those people who had not received chiropractic care. So this is why we are a big fan in our clinic, why we are proponents of more than ever that you should be getting regular adjustments, and you should do it for the rest of your life. I've been personally getting adjusted for longer than more than half of my life. My wife has been adjusted her entire life. My kids have been adjusted their entire lives. I'm jealous of them. Okay, but this is an ongoing thing, just like brushing your teeth is, except this is critically way more important. Many of you saw this on my Facebook about 3-4 weeks ago. One of my friends who's a chiropractor has a blood work laboratory inside of his clinic up in New Jersey, and he ran a CBC on himself. All right, before an adjustment, you can see his white blood cells. All right, right here we're 8.8. Okay, and then he got adjusted and he redid that test 35 minutes later, and it went up to 10. Isn't that cool? You can actually see some of his iron scores even got a little bit better when he did that to his hematocrit, right? Which they weren't bad, but it went up. So that was a 14% increase in white blood cell activity at 35 minutes after an adjustment. Remember, white blood cells are one of your first lines of defense in your immune system, right? So this is why you'll hear us now. We're a little bit different right now, just because if you think you have the coronavirus, we're asking you not to come into our clinic, just because we just, have to follow the CDC guidelines. But this is why in other times, right, we said, I'm too sick to come in and get adjusted, or I'm sick. we say, no, this is the best time to get adjusted. And therefore, this is the best time to get adjusted for making your body strong, to give your body the best chance of prevention. Is getting adjusted, I have to keep throwing this disclaimer out there. I mean, you're not going to get the coronavirus. No, but again, you're stacking the deck in your favor. Now, the last major pandemic that happened back in 1918, many of you probably didn't know about this until recently, all right, which was the Spanish flu of 1918. Got started, right, kind of towards the end of World War I, killed tens of millions. So we think what's going on right now is bad. It's killed tens of millions of people worldwide. And the amazing part is that when they looked at people so chiropractic was at this point 23 years old. So it was just brand new, all right? When they looked at people, and a lot of times chiropractors would go into a town, right? And there wasn't hospitals everywhere back in the early 1900s. So for some areas, the chiropractor might be the only doctor in that area, or for many miles anyways. So when they looked at the data for people that were adjusted, all right, compared to people that solely, right, so that was their only form of healthcare, versus people that only got medical care, right? Look at this. So for every 10,000 people that were treated by traditional medicine for the Spanish flu, 925 of them died. Okay, but what is that? 10%? 10%. For every 10,000 patients treated by a chiropractor, only 25 of them died. So literally there was 9% less death rate, or 90%, less death rate. Sorry, my math is not my strong suit at 9:24 at night. For people that saw a chiropractor, right? This put chiropractic on the map in the world, right? Because remember, it's brand new. People did not know what it was. We didn't have the internet, social media, Facebook, right? Cell phones. So only way that this happened was word of mouth, maybe a little bit of newspaper, right? This put chiropractic on the map, and one of the many reasons why, despite the American Medical Association trying to undermine and destroy the chiropractic profession, why we survived and prevailed, why like the original chiropractors, the first, because of this crap right here. And by crap, I mean amazing, change your life stuff. So this is why we are still open right now. This is why we will not be closing unless literally they chain and lock my door, park a tank outside of it. It was because this stuff right here changes people's lives. Okay. So get adjusted if you're not. Now, along with that, I'm going to speak mainly to if you're a guest, and I say a guest, if you're not a patient in my office, I'm going to speak mainly to my patients here for just about 60 seconds. So just hang tight. If you need a drink of water, now's a good time to do it. So these are what we call our travel card, our EHR, that we actually, me, Dr. V, Dr. Joe, look at when we're adjusting you. Okay. Now I cut off x-rays and patient information on this because I didn't want to obviously violate HIPAA. Now what we're looking at here along the left-hand side, okay, here, as you can see, the weeks, the dates, all right, and then it's actually showing the appointment status. So this gentleman right here is in his early 60s. He is on a once-a-week frequency plan, all right? And if you look, the 0 out of 1 means he missed 0 out of 1 appointments. So going back, and I could have gotten it bigger, but because he's gone way longer than this, but dating back to last August, right? He's didn't miss, only missed 1 there. Didn't miss. We were closed the week of Christmas, so he obviously, didn't get an adjustment there. Didn't miss. This guy hasn't been sick for as long as he's been a patient. And now, is that everybody? No, but that's pretty darn cool, right? Now let me show you another patient who's actually sick right now. She's on an every other week care plan. He or she's on an every other week care plan. Made a couple there, made up miss, sick right now, okay? So your adjustment frequency right now is critical, all right, for keeping your body strong. This is why you don't miss appointments. Or if you are watching this and you're a patient and you're choosing to shelter, I respect your decision, right? But this is why you are going to make up those appointments when you get when we get back rolling here. Is we got to keep your body strong, get it back on track, right? Because these pandemics are going to keep coming. They're not going to be fewer and further in between. They're going to be closer and larger, right? Because as our world gets smaller, travel, growing population, right? We have more people with chronic health issues and the things that are causing people to be sick and die in the first place, right? It's only going to get worse. So your only defense of that is to stack the deck in your favor and make your body as healthy as it possibly can be. So just to wrap this up regarding your neurological system, how to get to the root cause of health challenges. For those of you who are not a patient in a chiropractic office at all, if you're local, we'd love the opportunity to serve you. If you're not, I can definitely message me and I will find a chiropractor in your area that I would send my family member to. But here's what you want to be looking at and getting evaluated before you start chiropractic. And really, by any doctor for that matter, you should get a very thorough history and review of systems. We want to know everything about you. Orthopedic and neurological evaluations, do very specific testing to find out where the weak areas of your body and how is it affecting you. We do range of motion, how well is your spine moving, palpation, feel for certain areas. And many of you know that if you're a patient that we have magic hands and we can find stuff that you're like, how did you even know that was causing an issue? It's because we get trained in that for many hundreds, if not thousands of hours now at this point. Posture evaluations, and then we take x-rays, right? So x-rays are literally black and white because many people will say, well, my spine doesn't hurt or it doesn't bother me. Well, what does your x-ray look like? I guarantee you don't base your health of your teeth only off of how your teeth feel. You base it how healthy they actually are. And the only way to know is to have them examined by a professional, by a dentist, right, or a hygienist, and then get x-rays on them. Just same thing. Just the same reason why you don't analyze the health of your car, whether there's a check engine light on or there's smoke coming out of it, okay, right, or it's not running, okay, you take it to a qualified professional to be ahead of these things and track it. So we take pre-x-rays in our office, we take post-x-rays in our office to track improvement. We need to have a game plan to know where we're going. This is actually the same person here, so you can see how they were not straight here and how much straighter they were over here, which is great. So the normal cost for an appointment in our office, right? I'm going to make this available for those of you that are watching this virtually right now. If you're not a patient in our office, if you just called or walked in tomorrow, it would be $240 for all of this stuff right here. All right. Now what we're doing, what we do for our referrals is we give a 50% discount. So any appointments that are made in the next 2 weeks, we're going to cut that in half. So it'll be $120. We do have spots available this week. And so we just definitely found that the more on it that you are, the more that you jump on this, the more likely you are to follow through. So we're going to give you extra incentive to do that, or extra motivation, or really extra reward for those of you that are going to take action on this, is that for any appointments that are made this week, they're only going to be $90, all right, to cover all of that data and that testing. If you want to do that, I need you to email me at drgregbarnes@hotmail.com. The first step that we'll do is we'll hop on and do just a quick, like 3 to 5 minute video, if you prefer, which I would prefer, just to kind of get to know you before we actually follow through and make an appointment for you. We just got to make sure that you're a good fit for our office, right mindset if you're ready to make changes. And vice versa, if you want to get know a little bit more about how I work clinically, you have a chance to kind of interview me through that. So you won't have to pay anything. We do that step first, and then if we both agree like it's a good step moving forward, then we'll schedule an appointment and we'll take care of everything at that point, right there. So again, you just email me at drgregbarnes@hotmail.com if you are interested in doing that. And I'll be in touch with you in the next 24 hours or so to figure out those next steps, okay? All right, so next is home care, all right? So again, if you're not a patient in our office, that's a big part about how we get results, is doing home care, stretches and exercise at home. If you're a patient, and especially if you are sheltering yourself right now, you better be doing double duty on home care because you're not getting adjusted. If you go 2 weeks without forcibly, and I mean good forcibly, moving your spine, research shows that you will lay down a layer of permanent cellular arthritis, okay? Not good at all. All right, question number 5, last one. And for this one, I'll give away a very coveted jar of vitamin C, or C plus BioFizz, all right? So question number 5, what percentage of function do symptoms typically show up at in the body? A, 50%, B, 55%, C, 60%, and D, 75%. So again, you're going to put number 5 and you're going to put the letter. Connie G, my girl, we miss you. Connie Garcia, we can't wait for you to pass your schooling and get back to us in North Carolina. We miss you, Raleigh. All right, one more time here real quick. What percentage function do symptoms typically show up in the bodies when you drop to 50%, or at or below 50%, at or below 55%, at or below 60%, or at or below 75%? All right, great. All right, so I'm going to stay on here for a couple more minutes. I got just a couple of announcements here at the end, but I want to see if there's any questions that I can answer. Let me make sure I got the ones from before. I think I did. I've been doing a pretty good job here going along. So are there any other questions? I know that was a lot. Woo! This is being published to YouTube right now, or at least it should be. And if it's not, I'll make sure it gets on there so you can go back and rewatch this. Again, if you enjoyed this, I would love for you to like and share this post, or tag somebody that needs to hear it. And hopefully we can really transform and get people's minds out of the dumps, out of the coronavirus gutter. And instead of just moping and letting life happen them and think the only thing they can do with this is just sit in social distance or stay quarantined. It's like, no, you can take action steps right now to be healthier. So okay, so yes, I will go through the questions. So it's officially closed. No changes. All right, so let me go through and find the first one. Okay, current death rate of people with no pre-existing conditions is, the correct answer is B, 0.9%. Although you will find that that is going to go way lower as time goes on. Question number 2. Hospitalized patients with COVID-19, what percentage had other health challenges? This one was also B, 90%. What European country has the highest rates of hypovitaminosis D, low vitamin D? That one was pretty easy, hopefully, for everybody that saw it. Was A, Italy. Regarding toxins, what antioxidant do toxins commonly deplete? Glutathione. Technically, it could be all of them, but the main one that we measure with regarding toxins is glutathione. Oh, let's see how many people got that one right, because I didn't go over it specifically. And then number 5, what percentage of function do symptoms typically show up in the body? Is C, 60%. Perfect. So beautiful. So for recap, all right, you can be doing things to strengthen your body. There is research to support it too. It is not theory, although it's not direct research at this point because it is a novel virus, right? A new virus. You know, we'll learn out more as we go along, you know, for this here too, but just we got to remember that there is stuff you can be doing right now. So if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and you can put, you know, put the question in there as you're watching along with this. Tag me in it, so I see it and I know to answer that question. Is tag me, Greg Barnes, DC DNM, and I'll come back and answer it too. And hope you all had a great night. Hope you enjoyed this. Oh, forgot my announcements. Hold on a second. So in 2 weeks from tonight, all right, I'm going to be doing a Max Kids Talk. So this is not going to be about the coronavirus specifically, right? We're going to be talking about raising healthy kids from A to Z, all right? So that is going to be another virtual seminar Monday at 7:30. It might end up being 8, all right? But no, it's 2 weeks from tonight. We're going to be talking all about kids. So if you got kids, if you got grandkids, if you had kids, if you like kids, you should be on this. It'll be a lot shorter of a talk because it's just going to be very nuts and bolts. All right, very, very, very nuts and bolts. We'll see if I can even convince my wife to come on and help me out with some of that because she's got a lot of great insight into that too. But make sure that as you see that get posted, we're going to use the same platform, that you share this with your moms. If you're in any moms groups, share it there. Tag moms, right? So that we can get this information. It's going to be really, really life-changing because their kids are in trouble right now. They are very sick. They're getting sicker. They do not stand a chance unless you're being very proactive with them. So for social media, if you're a social media peeps, all right, if you're Instagram, you can add me at Dr. Greg Barnes, or our clinic page is at Max Living Raleigh. And then also Dr. Joe has a Facebook page too at Joe Criscola, another great one. So these are 3 great ads to do right now. Post some stuff on there as well. Facebook, if you're watching this, all right, you are either friends with me or maybe you're seeing it, you can add me as a friend, and that will allow you opportunities to see and know about other videos that I'll do. You can like our clinic page, which is at Greenway Health Center. And then I also have another personal page at Dr. Greg Barnes. And actually, I do know too that Dr. Joe has one. And now that I think about it, I forgot to add that. I need to go find his page right there. But Dr. Joe has a good one too. He posts a lot of great stuff on chiropractic in there. Okay. So that is it. Thank you all for watching. Oh, you guys couldn't see that. Hold on a second. Checked out. Here was that Max Kids slide there. So just so you have that, Monday, April 27th, 7:30, which is going to be great. And then here is the social media page. So you can take a snapshot of that real fast if you want to add us on there, if that's what you do. All right. So I'm gassed, so I'm probably not going to do the drawings tonight, but I will do Facebook Live videos and make sure you get tagged. So we're going to do a little fun thing here. I'll show it to you. So I'm going to put all the winner names on here, right? So I know Yanan was on there, right? And we'll do that, and then we're going to spin the wheel. Woo! And then whoever wins, we'll do this live, right? So you can see it. And look at me, I'm the winner. All right, so I guess I get to keep my own vitamin D. So we'll do that here later on. All right, probably tomorrow morning at some point. So we'll make sure that if you win, I'll make sure I tag you. If you didn't see it, don't see it. So you will know. So because I got to go back and I got to verify who won or not. So, all right, everybody, all's done. And God bless.